Hey there and welcome. I'm here to show you the last year of a Ironman achievement enabled game where I actually managed to revive the Roman Empire. Um, let's just hop right into it. So, as you can see, all those achievements on the left we already did achieve in this game. This is actually my first achievement run. I've never done an Ironman or achievement run ever before Royal Court came out, because I was still accustoming to the game and so on and so forth. So let's get rid of those events real quick and then let's go over what we have here. So we have actually 318,241 gold in our bank because we are making a walloping 619.6 gold each month, as well as 148.5 prestige per month, which we have also 108,000 of. Piety is a bit low because we have been conquering a lot of stuff recently. And we also have, of course, the highest level of Splendor already, and we're making 763.34 per month because almost all of our vessels are actually kings, which are all of our dynasty, and that, yeah, gives so much renown per month. Actually, we also have all the dynasty legacies researched already. As soon as I had 70 vessels, which was my current maximum at that time, I switched all my vessels to kings, or I leased out my kingdoms to my vessels, and then this went rapidly up, first to 30, then to 130, and so on and so forth, until it was at the current rate, and from then on it was just waiting. Also, we have a 96-year-old guy who actually will live until the end of the game, because the game will end in 1453, and he has the perk of healthy as well as know thyself, and this means he will tell me 1 year before he dies, and he didn't yet, so I know that this character is gonna last until the end. Also, he is my first character ever to reach 100 prowess. I mean, with Royal Court it's a bit easier because of the mail and weapons that you can put on. But as you can see, due to my inherited traits and so on, I'm a torturer, which gives prowess. I'm gallant, athletic, cannibal, berserker, and so on and so forth. All this stuff, and my holy sites, because I am the owner or the founder of my faith. Yeah, actually makes me have 100 prowess, and that at the age of 96, so I can basically beat anyone in the face. Good. Also, you can see that I have very high stats. This is not cheated. Like I said, it's an achievement run. We can also look it up. You can see it here. It's still the same save. I'm not editing anything in the video here. So you can see this is all legit. Interestingly, what I found, and what is really, really powerful, which I found, is the Witch Coven. Why is that? I basically started off with the Witch trait because I gave it to my character when I created him, and as soon as I could, I founded the first Witch Coven. And the interesting thing is, when you get to the first point uh, where you can form, or where you can create a cadet branch of your house, you should immediately do that because of two reasons. First of all, it doesn't matter for your dynasty stuff or your fame or whatever. If you are still the person with the most land in your dynasty, you will keep all your stats and all the regulations on your house. But your old house can still host the grand rite, and they will. And eventually, they will invite you to that. But you can still host a grand rite yourself. That means the more houses in your dynasty you have that have a witch coven, the more likely you are to be invited and the more likely you are to gain additional points. I hope I can show you this in the last year. I don't know if it happens, but I will explain it to you if it doesn't. Good, so let's just live through the last year. We're just gonna do some relaxing stuff, just watching over some things. Yeah, Hyde was destroyed. I don't care about those low tier armors, so yeah, let's keep going. Now we are in January, and as you can see, yeah, all those titles that can be created are actually totally... Kingdom of Gouge, where is that? Interesting, yeah, let's found that, why not? Let's have a new vessel. No, that's alright. So, if we can found another kingdom, let's do it, and let's see who has Duchy of Gouge create title. And this one as well. You only have 3 out of the 4 required. Okay, whatever you say. Good. So this is mine, of course. This is his. So we make him the king of this stuff. And we grant him all this stuff. And now we have another king in our vassals. We now have 78 out of 80 vassals. Most of them, like I already said, are kings, which is good. And you can see still our renown, although we have all the legacies discovered, still rises. So that works out pretty fine. Yeah, what I basically do to first of all make sure that the children of my dynasty are always well educated and so on. I started my first character off with the Amazonian or Herculean trait, and it was passed down to nearly all of my children ever since then, and all the other traits I bred together with other dynasties and so on, and later on I got to the point where I could marry basically children of my house or of the dynasty, let's say like that, all together, and the traits just kept stacking up. For the family tree, so for the family, for the renowned tree of family or blood, I choose that fecund should be the trait that should be more common, because all those were reinforced so much that they always came out whenever there is a child of my dynasty. It already has those traits, and this one I wanted altogether, so my dynasty just keeps growing. The divine blood is of course because I have consecrated my bloodline because I'm the founder of my own religion, and that is basically it. Since I have since I am of Norse heritage, because my self-made Hannibal Roman culture um, originated from the Norse culture. I have performative warrior and so on, so that means I can make all my daughters shield maidens, which gives them additional prowess. Basically, all my children um, get the martial education for reasons that if they are boys and they are too old by the time that I abdicate, I just make them warriors and put someone else on inheritance. And if they are young and I let them inherit my realm, then they are at least able to fight off all the enemies that will come around and try to steal the throne after they inherit it. This is just common thing. The larger your empire is, the worse it gets. And yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, how did I conquer so much land? It was actually pretty easy. Um, I did something that the Spiffing Brit did in one of his videos. Um, I actually started off with elephants. Started off as a... yeah, whatever. I started off as a Norse ruler down here in the... I have no idea where it is. I guess it is here. Yeah, in this region, because they were the ones, yeah, Oria, right. they're the ones that have Lords of the Elephant right from the start. And so I started with a Norse ruler in a county or in a duchy which has this thing. And then I merged the cultures the first time. And when I merged the cultures, I got to choose that I can breed elephants, and so I could basically recruit them, and everything was fine. Then I had some Varangian adventures, um, and basically moved to Italy, got the islands or got the kingdom of Sicily or Sardinia, got the kingdom of Sardinia here, made my way to Rome, dismantled the papacy, conquered all of Italy, and then I went north. Then I conquered like Germany and France, or uh, German Empire and Francia. Then I conquered like the British Isles. Then I conquered Scandinavia. Then I founded my new religion. And yeah, basically my vassals expanded my land pretty good. So right now I am holding another child of my dynasty, Knut Aslokson, whatever. As you see, also divine. He's a bastard, but who cares? He makes a good warrior one day. So divine blood, beautiful, genius, Herculean, fecund. Everything is fine. And this has been going on for generations. It's like this is the fourth or fifth generation that only produces kids like this. Seldomly, once or twice as a ruler, I see a child with negative traits like smallpox or lover's pox or something, or maybe inbred at some point, which I don't know how that works, but well, it happens occasionally. So also, when you try to educate a child, if you want to do it really good, don't choose an education focus before they turn 4, because then they get their childhood trait, which is like bossy or pensive or curious or whatever they have, and choose the education focus according to that. So if he's like pensive and he gets the learning perk, or you want to go for the learning perk, then you can go ahead and choose, go by learning, of course. The higher the learning, the better, but also make sure this is very important that they have the learning um, perks in their. So you choose someone to educate your child, and this one has a very high learning, but it has the gray eminence, so the diplomacy perks. So that doesn't count as much as this mastermind's philosophy here. So I would rather choose this one over them both, because this is a diplomacy character and this is a stewardship character, and all those I wouldn't go with either. So I would definitely go with him if my son was, of course, to be educated in the learning perk, which he isn't. So we just go by Marshall. And there you see my wife. Well, Grey Eminence, she has a lot of martial, but she doesn't have the 4-star strategist trait. So I'm gonna let my son educate him. Of course, I'm gonna send him to university because, well, I'd say I have the money, but that is only an estimation. Achievement unlocked, end of an era. Is that so? Already? Yeah, interesting. I have the martial perk, but I can't choose the martial perk anymore because the line is full. Well, great. Happens. So, yeah, I actually finished 3 trees in the martial trade. I also finished two trees in the intrigue tree. I also finished 2 trees in the learning tree, one tree, almost one tree in the, and so on and so forth. And here I just went with the family, firm hand, and the opinion gain from send gift because they are just the most convenient. So I can spend that perk now, which is awkward, but it helps. Um, Yeah, as you can see, the Roman Empire, I hold the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire includes a lot of empires within themselves, which are, the titles are immediately destroyed if you found the Roman Empire because it's just the way that this mechanic works. So I have to look in the tile history. I have no idea. Um, yeah, I don't know. But as you can see, the Roman Empire, when I created it, consisted of Byzantine Empire, I don't know what this is actually. Um, what this was before, how it was called, I don't know. But basically Germany, White Russia, and Scandinavia, and Francia, and Hispania, and how do you call it, Britain, Great Britain. So Italia as well. Yeah, and the rest of the empires I just conquered by myself, and they are not incorporated into the Roman Empire title later on, which I think is a pity, but it doesn't help. Can't help it. So yeah, that's basically it. So what was my army comprised of? Basically, for the last 10 generations or something like this, I was running with 4 stacks of war elephants, which makes up a total of 450 times 4 is 1,800 elephants, which is walloping. Also, I went with 3 full stacks of huskarls, um, which are 2,200 each, so 6,600 huskarls and a few pikemen for other reasons, and of course 1 stack of siege equipment, which changed with um, culture innovations. Innovations are already researched, but I guess that is clear. So yeah. So what do I have for traditions in my Hannibal Roman culture? It's pretty easy. Yeah, lots of the elephants. Industrious I took because of the bonus of 25 development, because I wanted to develop my cities so I can found universities, and in general development gives money, so to speak. So yeah. And yeah, what was it? All right. Uh, Yeah, performative warrior, coastal warriors, Byzantine traditions. Because when I landed in Italia, I actually mixed up with the Greek to get those. Um, because I wanted Byzantine traditions, because the chief eunuch court position is actually a very powerful one. This is tremendous. I mean, if you look at it, I don't know. No, I don't have him appointed because I don't have anyone suitable for that. So, hostile scheme power based on aptitude is boosted by up to 32%, as well as hostile scheme resistance, as well as court grandeur change, which is not so important, but it helps. And this basically helped me survive when, as my empire got bigger, more and more people tried to murder me, and if it hadn't been for those stats here, I probably would. My character was murdered twice, but it would have been way more than that if I wouldn't have had that. So, um, this is a very interesting court position. By the way, let's look if we have someone that we can appoint this way. If you want to appoint a court eunuch, you want to. Is this a man? Oh no, it's a woman actually. I couldn't tell from the plain sight. What you want to look for is somebody with high intrigue and high diplomacy, because that makes a good court eunuch. So we don't have anybody who actually features this, so we're just gonna leave it for now. We're just gonna let the game end. So yeah, and that was basically it. My empire consists of, basically half of the known world, or a bit more than that, I guess, 2/3 of the known world, with all the big communities in it. So my vassals already expanded into Africa and so on. I have the Arabian Empire. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to still look. So I'm holding the Roman Empire, which I already told you what it consists of. Khazaria, Volga Ural, Empire of Carpathia, Gardariki, which I actually have no idea what this is, the Persian Empire, Arabian Empire, Maghreb, which is in Africa. Um, yeah, and all the other things are kingdom titles, which I don't want to hand out because I want to keep. I always kept the Kingdom of Sardinia title because I'm also holding all the holdings in it, except for the cities. Because you want to have a region which is only your own, which you can build up as fast and as good as possible. As you can see, this has a fort level of 31. It has a development of like through the roof, 36, and so on and so forth. Basically, all my, except for this one, basically all my holdings have kind of something like this, and they're making a huge amount of money, and that is just good. So you want to develop them and you want to keep them as long as you can. So basically forever. So I have them since I moved from India back here and captured Sardinia. I kept it, and Rome I keep as my capital because it's a nice town. It has a development of 73, and it gives a lot of money. Tax of 27, which is nice. Yeah. So and that's basically it. For religion, I formed my own religion. I wanted the human sacrifice thing because I wanted to try out the raid for captives thing. It is good and fun, but it's not the most interesting. So I would probably stick to Grand Blot or Blot if you're thinking about it. Yeah, I kept the Warmonger so I can um, so I have the invasion stuff and all those buffs which the Warmonger gives. Ritual cannibalism I actually did to reduce stress because the bigger your empire gets, the more stressed you get for each and every stuff that happens. And at some point, if you don't have the perks for it, you're just gonna break down and your character just wants to fling himself off a cliff. So with ritual cannibalism, you can just go ahead and find some prisoner which is not of your faith, which, as you can see, gets harder and harder because 2/3 of the world are actually my faith. But well, um, yeah, you just find a prisoner which is not of your faith. You say behead and devour, and it loses you 26 stress. Ta-da! You do that 4 times. Interestingly, this guy can eat hundreds of people in one day. So if I eat this person, I eat him. Then I go ahead and eat her too. And then I go ahead and of course eat her too. And so on and so forth. I can basically eat all my prisoners, which is hilarious in itself, but it works. As you see, now I have no stress. I had no stress before, but the only thing is that you can get ill from it, but this is actually not very bad. This time it didn't even happen, so yeah, and that's actually it. So this was my this was my game with achievements on. I hope we get something to see, like an end screen where it says what I did and so on. I have actually never played through the game because I was always trying out new stuff. So 4 days left, so let's see what happens, right? And there it is, the end. The end date of the game has been reached. For centuries you have followed the dynasty of Stark and it has grown into a dynasty of legendary prestige and blah 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 blah, respected by all due to your and so on. So, yeah, by the way, my dynasty has 17,907 members, which I played 18 of. Interesting. It has 189 different houses, so I have no idea what happens now. Yeah, whatever, alright. Good. Yeah, this is obviously an annoying bug, I'm sorry for that, so... Yeah, all I can do now is exit, so there's unfortunately no... Yeah. Damn, I thought it would be some kind of more... well, prestigious, the end, which it wasn't, so... Okay, well then, that concludes the video, and I wish you all a very nice and sunny weekend, and see you next time. You may post in the comments if you want to see, I don't know, see me do the start again, so you know how to do this stuff with the elephants and so on, or if you want to see how you build up your own kingdom so that you can have like 600 per month or whatever. So if you want to see anything, post it in the comments. Other than that, have a nice day and see you next time.